Welcome to Pr99 English Podcast.
Let's work together to become the top 1%.
Don't forget to download the PDF first. It can improve your learning efficiency.
Without further ado, let's dive into today's episode.
Hey everyone, welcome back to English Pr99 Podcast, your space to unlock better English and a brighter future. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Sophie. We're so excited to have you with us today. We've got a super interesting topic that a lot of our listeners have been asking about. Today we're going to talk about how to master English. Whether you're a beginner or at an intermediate level, we've got tips and insights to help you improve your skills and feel more confident in your English abilities.
Yes, exactly. English is such an important language in today's world, but mastering it can feel like a daunting task. But don't worry, we're here to break it down for you and show you how you can improve step by step.
That's right. So, Kevin, when we talk about mastering English, what do you think is the most important thing to focus on first?
Great question, Sophie. I think the first thing is to focus on building a strong foundation. This includes the basic skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Some people might think they need to be fluent right away, but honestly, it's about taking small, consistent steps.
I totally agree with that. You don't have to be perfect from the beginning. Just start practicing every day, even if it's just a little bit. Over time, you'll see a lot of progress. And don't forget about confidence. A lot of people get nervous or discouraged when they make mistakes. But mistakes are part of the learning process. In fact, they're one of the best ways to learn.
Exactly. I remember when I was learning Spanish, I was terrified of making mistakes. But once I realized that mistakes were part of it, I started improving so much faster. So, let's talk about consistency. Sophie, how do you stay consistent in your learning?
I think the key is to make language practice part of your daily routine. It doesn't have to be a long session every day, even if it's just 10-20 minutes. I try to practice every day, whether it's reading a short article, watching an English video, or reviewing vocabulary. It's that regular exposure to the language that helps you make steady progress.
That's a great point. And I always say, start small. Don't try to learn everything at once. Focus on mastering a few things at a time. For example, if you're learning new vocabulary, try to learn 5 to 10 words each day and use them in sentences. The key is to keep it simple and achievable.
Yes. And I think it's important to set realistic goals. A lot of people get frustrated because they set goals that are too big. For example, saying, "I'll learn 100 words today" might sound good, but it's just not practical. Instead, try setting smaller goals, like, "I'll learn 10 new words this week," or "I'll practice listening for 30 minutes a day." Achieving these smaller goals will keep you motivated and feeling accomplished.
You know, one of the things that helped me a lot was having a study buddy. Whether it's a teacher, a language partner, or even an online community, having someone to practice with makes learning much more fun and engaging. Plus, it's great for getting feedback on your progress.
Oh, that's such a good tip. Having someone to practice with definitely makes learning more enjoyable. And speaking of enjoyment, I think learning English doesn't have to be boring. You can incorporate it into activities you already enjoy, like watching movies, playing video games, or listening to music. Kevin, do you have any favorite movies or shows that helped you improve your language skills?
Oh, absolutely. I watched a lot of TV shows in Spanish when I was learning. Shows like Friends and How I Met Your Mother were great because the language is casual and relatable. And even though it was in Spanish, I didn't stop watching. I just put the subtitles in Spanish too, and that helped me learn a lot of new phrases. I recommend doing the same with English shows if you're a beginner. It'll help you get used to how English sounds in everyday conversations.
Yes, TV shows are fantastic for learning. And one thing I love about them is the chance to hear different accents and ways of speaking. That's another important thing when learning a language, being exposed to different accents and dialects. English is spoken all over the world, so it's important to listen to various types of English.
That's a great point. The more you listen to different accents, the easier it'll be for you to understand English speakers in real life, no matter where they're from. And this applies to both listening and speaking. Getting used to how different people speak English can really help improve your comprehension and fluency.
Speaking of fluency, I want to talk about speaking skills for a moment. A lot of learners are afraid of speaking because they're worried about making mistakes or not sounding perfect. But Kevin, I know you have some great tips for overcoming this fear, right?
Yes, definitely. The first thing I tell people is, just speak. Even if it's not perfect, just try. You can improve if you don't practice. One tip that helped me when I was learning a new language was to find opportunities to speak, even if it was with people who were also learning. It's a safe space to make mistakes, and you can learn from each other.
Exactly. And it's so important to practice regularly. You don't need to have a full conversation every time, but even just speaking for 5 minutes a day can make a huge difference. I also recommend speaking out loud to yourself. I know it might sound a little strange, but it's a great way to practice your pronunciation and get comfortable with the language. You can describe your day, practice a new word, or talk about something you're interested in. It helps you get used to speaking without feeling self-conscious.
I love that. Speaking out loud to yourself is a great way to practice. And don't worry if you make mistakes. We all do. The key is to keep going, and the more you speak, the easier it becomes. And don't forget that listening is just as important as speaking.
Definitely. Listening is a skill that goes hand in hand with speaking. If you listen more, you'll understand how native speakers talk, and you'll be able to use phrases and expressions more naturally. One fun way to practice listening is to watch videos or listen to podcasts and try to repeat what you hear. It's a great way to improve both your listening and speaking skills.
And it's not just about listening to content in English. It's also about active listening. Try to focus on how people say things, not just what they're saying. Pay attention to their tone, rhythm, and the way they use intonation. This will help you sound more fluent when you speak.
That's such a good point. Active listening is key. And remember, you don't need to understand every single word. Focus on the overall message and try to get the context. If you don't understand something, don't be afraid to ask for clarification or rewind the video.
Exactly. And this brings us to reading and writing, which are often the most underrated skills. Sophie, how did you improve your reading and writing in English?
For reading, I started by reading things that I actually enjoyed. Whether it was novels, magazines, or online articles, I found that when I enjoyed the topic, I was more motivated to read. And don't worry about starting with simple material. It's okay to begin with children's books or easy articles. The key is to gradually increase the level of difficulty as you improve.
That's a great tip. I did the same when I was learning Spanish. I started with simple books and slowly moved on to more complex materials. And for writing, I think the key is to practice regularly and not be afraid to make mistakes. Even if you're writing short texts like journal entries, emails, or social media posts, just write. The more you write, the better you'll get.
Exactly. And don't forget the importance of feedback. Whether it's from a teacher, a language exchange partner, or even a language app, getting feedback is crucial for improving your writing. You'll learn from your mistakes and avoid repeating them in the future.
Yes, feedback is such a game changer. It helps you see areas you need to improve and also gives you confidence when you get things right.
That's right. And with writing, it's also important to learn the structure of different types of texts. For example, emails, essays, and stories all have their own unique structures. And learning those structures will help you write more clearly and effectively.
That's a good point, Sophie. And just like with speaking, I always say, practice makes perfect. Keep writing, keep speaking, and most importantly, don't be afraid to make mistakes. The more you practice, the better you'll get.
Absolutely. And now, we're going to pass the time to our amazing friend Catherine, who will go over today's key vocabulary.
Hi, everyone. I'm Catherine, and I'll be sharing the 10 most important words from today's podcast. 1. Motivation, noun. Meaning, the reason or reasons for acting or behaving in a particular way. Sentence. Her motivation for learning English is to travel the world. 2. Consistency, noun. Meaning, doing something the same way over time. Sentence. Consistency is the secret to mastering a language. 3. Communication, noun. Meaning, the exchange of information between people. Sentence, good communication is more important than perfect grammar. 4. Realistic, adjective, meaning accepting things as they are, practical. Sentence, set realistic goals when you plan your English studies. 5. Immerse, verb, meaning to deeply involve yourself in something. Sentence, he immersed himself in English movies and books. 6. Routine, noun, meaning a regular way of doing things. Sentence, building a study routine helps you improve faster. 7. Improve, verb, meaning to get better at something. Sentence, practicing every day will improve your English skills. 8. Failure, noun, meaning lack of success. Sentence, don't let fear of failure stop you from speaking English. 9. Goal, noun, meaning something you aim for or try to achieve. Sentence, her goal is to speak English confidently in meetings. 10. Partner, noun, meaning someone you do something with. Sentence, find a language partner to practice English with. That's it for our key vocabulary today. Now, let's return to Kevin and Sophie for the final part of our podcast.
Thank you, Catherine, for that wonderful vocabulary session.
Yes, and thank you all for listening to today's English PR99 podcast.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave us a review.
And don't miss out. You can download a free PDF with today's vocabulary and extra practice exercises.
See you next time, everyone.
Keep practicing and keep shining. Bye.
It's never too late to start learning English. Leave us a comment if you found this video helpful. We'll be sharing more in the future, so thanks for your support.